Welcome to the Joe Pometto Law Show. Thank you for joining me. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different from most of my other episodes. Today, we are going to take a look at a clip from one of my favorite lawyer movies of all time. The movie is And Justice for All, starring none other than the great, the magnificent Al Pacino, Scarface himself, one of my idols when it comes to actors. My name's Joe Pometto. I'm Italian American. I love me some Al Pacino. And this movie was filmed in the 1970s, released in the 1970s. It's one of the movies that put Pacino on the map, but is lesser known by a lot of today's audiences. Anyway, it's a classic movie scene. It's a bit outrageous. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to talk about what the real world effects of this would be if an attorney actually did this in a trial. And I sit here and I wonder if it's actually ever happened before. Probably not like this, but I bet something like this may have actually happened. So thanks for tuning in for the different style of episode. If you enjoy my show, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It's a great, free, easy 1 second way to support the show. YouTube rewards me for likes, comments, and shares, and that in turn incentivizes me to make more videos for you guys to enjoy, consume, and learn from. I also have a Patreon. It's below. Check it out in the description. You can drop me $1, $2 monthly. Every penny counts. That money will go directly to me producing this show and spending more time on making more videos that you love. So it's a direct way to contribute to the show. I have a couple of patrons now, and I'm very thankful for them, and I'm about to send them all personal messages. So before we watch the clip that I'm going to then analyze, let's do the group sip. I got here my almost empty Diet Coke from Wendy's earlier. It tastes even better if you say afterwards. So enjoy the clip and be sure to watch my commentary afterwards. It's going to be fun and we're all going to learn something.
And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the prosecution is not going to get that man today. No. Because I'm going to get him. My client, the Honorable Henry T. Fleming, should go right to fucking jail. The son of a bitch is guilty. That man is guilty. That man is a slime. He is a slime. If he's allowed to go free, then something really wrong is going on. Mr. Kirkland, you are out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order. They're out of order. That man, that crazy, depraved man, raped and beat that woman there, and he'd like to do it again. He told me so. It's just a show. It's a show. Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. Hey, Frank, you want to make a deal? I got an insane judge who likes to beat the shit out of women. What do you want to give me, Frank? 3 weeks probation? You son of a bitch, you. You're supposed to stand for something. You're supposed to protect people, but instead you fucking murder them. You killed McCullough. You killed him. Hold it. Hold it. I just completed my opening statement.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the way he puts drama into everything. Al was a little more energized when he was younger, but even in his later movies, he's a wild man. He's a wild man. Scarface as a defense attorney, I love it. I love it. So let's break this down a little bit. So he's giving his opening statement, which is the beginning of a trial. At the beginning of every trial, the defense the prosecutor gives their opening statement, then the defense attorney gives their opening statement, then you get all the testimony and evidence, then the defense attorney gives their closing statement, prosecutor gives their closing statement. At least in Pennsylvania, that's the order of things. So he's telling the jury what his case is going to be, and in the middle, he tweaks out and turns on his client, and he points at his client, who is this judge who'd allegedly raped a woman, and he says that man is guilty. And probably my favorite part of this scene is when the judge is banging the gavel and he's saying, "You're out of order," and then Pacino looks at him and says, "You're out of order." I mean, how many attorneys want to say something like that to a judge? When you're talking to a judge, I mean, you're biting your lip like never before, because as a lawyer, you can say a lot of shit to a lot of people. You can say things to another attorney, and you can say things to your client and people involved, but when it comes to the judge, you got to mind your P's and Q's. So I love the look on that judge's face. He's like, "You're out of order." It cracked me up. So let's talk about the legal effects of all the things that our friend Al does in this little clip. So he says his client is guilty. Now, maybe you could sort of get away with that if you were doing a kind of rhetorical trick, trying to be sarcastic, and you communicated that, and the judge doesn't know, his client, the defendant, doesn't know what's going on, starts to look at him, and then he says, he goes, "He'd love to rape that woman again, and you know how I know? He told me so." So that right there, now you know he's going total crazy in the courtroom. By him saying that to the jury in public, in front of everybody, he's breaking attorney-client confidentiality. Not only could he get disbarred for doing it in that manner, at the very least, he would get an ethics complaint, and the man would be lucky to probably practice law again after the chaos that he unleashes on that courtroom, including breaking the attorney-client privilege. When you have a client, to me, that's a sacred duty. That client can tell me anything that person wants, and I can never tell anybody else. I can talk about it in vague terms, okay, and I can talk about parts of the case that are public, but certain things that the client shares with me, okay, are between him and me, and I got to take that to the grave with me. And I consider it a sacred trust. And Al Pacino in this movie, he breaks, and at the worst and most inopportune time, or well, actually it was designed, he meant to do it, and he breaks that confidentiality. And to do that intentionally and knowingly is going to get you into a load of trouble as an attorney, as a lawyer. And I don't know, there could even be some criminal consequences to that. What would happen after he goes off, blames his client, breaks the confidentiality, starts telling the jury and all the public all the things that his client told him and all the ways that he feels, and boom, and he's thrown out of there? Well, the big problem here is he just let the genie out of the bottle, this energy, this confidential information, and he put it out into the world in one of the most public of ways. So he's not only tainted that jury, that judge and pretty much everyone standing in the room. But because this is going to be, and especially in today's day and age, it's going to be on television news, it's going to be in print newspaper, it's going to be on the radio. He's tainting the wider jury pool. He's tainting everyone. I think this is New York City. Everyone in New York City. And in today's age, news like that may go national. He's tainting maybe an entire national jury pool. So the courts would declare this trial a mistrial, but now the defendant's got to be put on a new trial. However, the jury pool's been tainted by this prior attorney. So it would be very, very difficult to select jurors, to find jurors who hadn't heard about this, or a jurisdiction where they can find jurors that haven't heard about this, so that the parties could now get a fair trial. It may be impossible. Take for instance the O.J. Simpson case, which was televised nationally. Any juror in the country, who wasn't too young or too old to understand what was going on, every person in the country, therefore every potential juror, already had an opinion about the case. So, they were tainted to a certain degree. And this is true of most national cases, most national trials. It goes on the news so much that any individual who's going to be put on the jury is already going to have an opinion about the case. And this perhaps is and you see in this movie, is one of the worst types of taint, because it's a breach of the privilege, and then this language goes out there that could prevent this man from literally ever getting a fair trial, because this attorney is saying he told me he committed the crime. A very, very big no-no, very disrespectful of the whole justice system and the attorney-client privilege and relationship. But you can see there, Al's just had it. I mean, Pacino's just had it. And there's a lot of wrong that goes on in the justice system too. So it's a crazy thing. It's a tough thing to think about what he did there. So it's disrespectful of the system. So that's what I believe would happen. What would happen is you would get a mistrial, which means that trial is thrown out, but the prosecution can now retry, put on a new trial for the defendant. You'd have to get new judges and new attorneys involved, because all of those ones there have been tainted, and a new jury, and the state would have to go to great lengths to find a jury that was not tainted by the public message that was put out there. Mr. Pacino would likely I think he might get disbarred for this. He'd definitely get punished, lose his license, could even face some sort of criminal charges. So it's a pretty wild thing that he pulled. Again, I wonder if it's ever happened before. But I'll tell you, the look on that judge's face, and if you watch the whole movie, at a certain point, the judge, to create order in his courtroom, pulls out a gun and fires it at the ceiling. I mean, old school shit like that probably used to happen. Now, what you might want to do is go and get the beginning of the speech, the opening statement, because Al's really laying it down thick. I mean, a good opening statement is coming before he turns on him. You want to see some skill, go ahead and watch that greater clip. The other thing I love about this is I love Pacino's suit. Like, I love that 3-piece tan beige. I mean, that's defense attorney style right there. To me, that's some good stuff. I mean, you want to look good on behalf of your client whenever you are in that courtroom. And what else? Just the screaming. I mean, it just cracked me up, and the emotion that Pacino puts into it. I don't think anybody else could have done a scene like that. So check out that whole movie. Check out the longer clip. If you watch the whole movie, you'll see Al is just losing it. He's a public defender. I mean, the things that public defenders go through are just unbelievable. The BS you have to put up with, you just boom, case after case after case. I mean, mad stress put on you by the client's family, the prosecutor, the judges. You're trying to do your best for everybody. You're being pulled 100 different directions. Each decision is stressful and key. That movie really captures what attorneys can go through in the criminal field. I mean, it's just wild. It's a grind. It's intense. It's a grind. So great movie to watch. At the very least, watch the rest of the clip. Some things we learned today is whenever a trial gets spoiled like that, and it can happen for a whole host of reasons, it's called a mistrial. And then you need to select a new jury. For something like that, the jury would actually be spoiled. You get a jury pool, which has been tainted by language or words that they hear concerning the case. And jurors can be tainted by things that they hear in the news. And that's one of the reasons Bill Cosby, his case originated in Philadelphia, and they took a jury pool from Pittsburgh to try to give him a more fair trial. So I hope you enjoyed that video. One of these days I'm gonna put my three-piece suit on so all my viewers can see. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this type of video, please leave a comment. Let me know. If you have other suggestions for movies you want me to break down, I'll do it. It's fun. Support the show. Become a patron on Patreon. $1, $2, $3 a month goes a long way towards helping me make more videos that you love so that I can put more time into this. These videos will always remain free, always be free, so don't feel pressured. You want to help me for free? Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.